Let's talk anime. Hello and welcome to Brandon's Discuss Anime, the Reckless Media production. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
I'm doing fine. Just fine.
And I am Brandon Horvath, and with me are my co-hosts, Brandon Falinger.
Yo!
And Ryan Stokiel.
Hello.
Okay then.
We didn't scare him off, he returned. I'm shocked.
Yes. So, a few big movie trailers dropped. Anybody want to discuss a certain Bob Ross?
The Deadpool one.
Yes.
Hey, we've all seen it then. Nice.
I actually only saw, the picture of it. I didn't watch it.
It is glorious.
It gets even better because he doesn't even, as he's, doing this stuff, he's whacking off his,
paintbrush.
His paintbrush, as he says, just as he's, what was the word, the terminology is, beat it like it owes you money.
Great.
Yeah, because Bob Ross always used to say, beat the devil out of it.
Every time, though, he starts to, paint something, he'll turn away, and it'll cut for a second, and he turns back, and the picture's, completely different. He's painting, this baby's first finger painting, and immediately it's into, a masterpiece.
And
he turns back to it and just goes, "Sweet baby Jesus." I would just love to roll around in that white, glorious powder. Just get high on life.
I love cocaine.
I love cocaine. He just starts alluding to being an extreme drug addict, and by the end it's remember friends, hugs not drugs. It's you've just been talking this entire fucking thing about how high you are.
And I was reading that there's 30 or 40 Marvel references hidden in the trailer.
I'm not a huge enough Marvel fan to recognize each and every one. That's for sure.
No.
Although this does give us an idea of who Cable is going to be playing Cable from that last painting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I forget his name, but the dude from Stranger Things, the cop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They look like they did a good job, at least in the painting. If that's representative of how he's actually going to look in the movie, that's going to be awesome.
Good. That's good to hear.
And the only reference that I remember is in the beginning when he's painting a yellow sky. That's supposedly the Logan movie poster.
And it just transitions into a Snow White mountain. There's one point where he starts whacking off the brush so hard that it flies out of his hand. He turns away, starts looking around, and there's some kind of red monstrous thing that's baby painted over top of a good painting. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it has something to do with the movie because it scares Deadpool when he sees it again. When he turns back and sees it.
Maybe Mr. Sinister.
Interesting. I could see that maybe.
And I don't know enough about Deadpool to know Mr. Sinister's whole backstory and relation.
Neither do I.
I know Ryan probably does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we won't get into that now because we don't want this to be a Deadpool podcast.
Look, we can do that when the movie comes out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We can all pack into your car and do a car review. Oh wait, somebody's famous for that.
Gee, I wonder who. It's Bum Reviews, right? No, wait, he doesn't have a car. Unless he stole it from someone. Does he... Tell me, is the background behind the car a junkyard?
No. It's a typical parking lot.
Then obviously. Unless he's stolen the car, then there's no other... It can't be Bum Reviews.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, do we want to get we talked about loot boxes last time Orion was on with us, and all the fun of that. Literally just recently, EA pulled the plug on the loot boxes
for now.
For now, yes, temporarily, which to me sounds like a couple of weeks down the line, once this whole thing is blown over, we'll just flip the switch, turn it back on. People won't know. People have bought the game now.
Yep. Put them in slowly.
No. It's just on and off switch. That's it.
Oh.
Now everything has to be earned, by actually playing the game. However, the difference is that you're spending I think 10 hours to unlock Darth Vader as a playable character.
What's the crap?
Or you could just spend however much money on a loot box to technically get a chance at unlocking him right away.
Yep.
In which case, I'm sitting here that is not choice. That is trying to railroad somebody into this purchase.
Yeah. But
on a game you've already spent $60 for.
They did get rid of the top tier. I guess you can upgrade your guys or guns.
Yeah.
They got rid of. You can only how you could only get the top tier out of loot boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can only get them through playing the game, which how it should have been.
That should be the whole thing, though.
Yeah.
If they wanted to do this, it should have been a free-to-play game.
And they should have done cosmetic only, like how Overwatch does it.
It all depends, right? Because if you're going to charge $60, yes, make it only cosmetic. But if you're going to make it a free game, then fine, make your money off of actual microtransactions and shit. It's a weird balance to have, and it's ridiculous that your progression is tied to monetary input.
Yeah.
Especially and this is what I've heard from people that have played the beta, you get shown through the usual kill cam ideas that you have for Call of Duty and other shit. So when somebody kills you get to see what they did, see if it's right. And they just flash on the screen, these are the cards that they're using that you could get in a loot box too.
Yeah, how they pair people up. They put people up against people who didn't buy loot boxes against people who did. So they kind of
it mix and matches and make the problem is right with loot boxes in general. That's a problem.
Call of Duty does that. I heard.
But all of them do that in a way. Because, you go ahead and you look at, Overwatch. Overwatch does that. Even if it is just cosmetic, it's still the whole idea of, that looks cool. I want that. Mm-hmm. The only way I can get that is through loot boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish... And I don't play games with loot boxes, but I do play some microtransaction game. And the ones that I play, I know what I'm getting. There's no chance. If I would want this sword, I would need to pay $2.99 or whatever the amount of special credits are, so I know what I'm getting. A chance of getting something crap or something amazing, if it's too much, I may not want to do that.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? There's two parts to this, in that the loot boxes also, depending on which one we're talking about, which game it is. In this case, I'm going to say Battlefront.
Okay.
The new Battlefront 2, you still get doubles in that, which if you get a double, you get exchanged for a cheap little bit of currency, which literally can get you jack shit.
But if you buy enough loot boxes, and get
eventually you'll build that up. And this is the same thing that Overwatch does too. Granted, they made an update where you get far less likely to have doubles, but they're still in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But since that update came through, I think I've only got, and that's been a few months, I think I've only ever gotten 2 doubles since that's happened. And it's always been low stuff.
Okay.
But, well, God, I had another point about that. What else were you saying about the loot box? Oh, right, about random chance. That's right. That's the other thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that this is only a random chance and you just can't outright purchase the thing you want is ridiculous to me.
Agreed.
Overwatch does give you that option. However, the only way you get currency is by opening loot boxes.
Yeah.
You can't just outright purchase their currency.
Yeah.
You have to get it through a loot box.
Yeah.
On top of that,
leveling up.
You do. Yeah, you do. But it's only one. Plus, they give you I think 3 per week in arcade mode to get one, if I remember right.
Something like that.
Yeah, you need to win 9 games, and every 3 games you get a loot box.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
But no, my other point being that the fact that there's a secondary currency in there at all, you can't just say, oh, it's $2.99 to buy this. No, we have to have this other bullshit currency in there for it. It's one of the ways that they kind of like take a step away from this being considered gambling, because you have an intermediate currency.
Still sucks though.
And it's dumb. Like it because it's not tied to an inherent monetary value. You can technically get away with it as far as, or at least evade the watchful eyes of getting it looked at as like a gambling thing. But the problem ends up coming in like this. It is, in the most technical terms, not gambling. However, if you start looking at the psychology of it, it is outright, in a way, it is outright the same triggers as gambling. Because of the random chance that's involved, it triggers all these things, and because you're paying money to keep getting this random chance, that triggers your endorphins, that triggers your interest, that triggers you to keep coming back, because human psychology tends to push us towards like a random chance of not knowing if we're going to get something good or not, rather than just, oh, we're always going to get something good if we get this thing. It just pushes us to get that addictive personality and quality.
Yeah.
Plus, it doesn't help when the games themselves start flashing and advertising, like, oh, you got a loot box, you got to go into the market to open it.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, I'm in the market. Oh, look, this is on sale.
Only for this much money. Yeah, exactly. Right.
While I'm here, might as well.
Yeah, right. That's the thing.
Oh, chocolate's on sale. Oh, gonna grab some of
Halloween
that.
candy. 80%
I mean, to be fair, chocolate at least is an item that you know you're getting what you're paying for. It's not random.
Well, those, like, big boxes of Gamble chocolate at Valentine's Day.
Gamble chocolate.
I will have to take a look at those, because I've never seen Gamble chocolate.
Cherry, whatever that cherry cream is, horrible. Cordial cherries, on the other hand, are delicious.
Oh, I could be getting one filled with caramel. Jalapeno with that chocolate.
Unfortunately, people just don't read under the lid where it tells you what's in each thing.
It's the same thing as the Bean Boozled challenges.
But those look exactly the same.
These are all chocolate. I don't understand.
I mean, you got a 50-50 chance, but yeah, I know what you mean. Because each, like, two of the flavors have the exact same look to them.
Yeah.
But, no. Getting away from loot boxes, I have one last thing I'll mention, and that's that as of this recording, yesterday, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon got released, and I am having a blast with them.
I didn't know that was released already.
Yep, yesterday.
And they made... sorry, go ahead.
I've been playing those, and I've been having a great time. I've been... And this is something that may come up in Fever Gaming later, is I've been doing a dice lock run. As my first run through this game.
Is that anything like Nuzlocke?
It is exactly like Nuzlocke, except I roll an 8-sided die, and that then decides which of the 7 dice I have to then use a rule set for that route.
Oh.
So I roll an 8-sided die. If I get an 8, it's a reroll. A 1 through 7 will mark whether it's a D4 through a D20, on which die will then decide the rules for that route. So if I get a D4, it's considered a horde encounter, if that's possible. So it would be like me versus like 4 or 5 Pokemon that show up at once, if it's possible. Because it's not possible on every single route. D6 is, the same as a regular Nuzlocke, except it's whichever number of the encounter it is. So let's say I roll like a 5, so the 5th encounter on that route will be whatever it is, the Pokemon I have to catch for that route, or I get nothing. The D8 ends up being the same thing as the D6, however, the Pokemon then gets Wonder Traded. So I get a random Pokemon from somebody else that's trading out there. I have the D10, which then decides, based on that, I get to catch however many of those Pokemon I want. However, I only get to keep 1 out of that entire selection. Unless I roll a 10, in which case I get to keep 2. So if I get a critical roll. I have the D100, which then decides how many steps I take.
D100?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's a 10-sided die, but it's counted in 10s.
Oh, okay.
So that decides how many steps I take, and I can catch anything within that amount of steps. Then the D12 and the D20, the rules kind of change based on what I get off of that. Like a D20 would be, all right, I roll the D20, I get whatever it is. That's how many Pokemon I can catch on that route. I roll it again, and that decides how many I can keep. And it could be anything from like 0 to 4.
Are you rolling the die in real life?
In real life, yes.
Okay.
And then I forget exactly what my rule set for the D12 is. I haven't rolled it in a while, but I could look that up. Let's see here. 'Cause I'm a genius and I have it on my phone to just remind myself. Okay, here we go. D12. I get to choose a Pokemon on the route, and then catch the max number that I rolled with the D12, and choose one among them that I get to keep. So whichever one has like the best stats or whatnot could be my choice, or ability or whatnot.
So now you have your own Dice Lock challenge. Hey, your Dice
might
Lock
incorporate
challenge
that
might
into-
become super popular, and everybody will be doing the Brandon Dice Lock challenge.
Who knows? Who knows? We might try that once we do Nuzlocke. If we ever end up doing the Nuzlocke on the channel.
Yeah.
I'll incorporate the Dice Lock rule set I made up.
And one last thing, slightly more anime related, continuing with Pokemon, I just heard that they had the 1000th episode.
Was there any kind of celebration with that?
Yes, but I don't remember what it was.
Gee, thanks.
Hey, it was like a month ago or something.
It was a month ago. Why didn't we talk about this the last time?
Okay. Was it a month ago?
Gotta check to see if he's safe, or if I can blame him.
It was earlier this month. It was
All right,
this
fine.
month.
I'll let it slide then.
Okay. And, by the way, Happy American Thanksgiving, and we are not talking about anything food-related today. We are talking about a very popular anime, so, Ryan, you may have heard of this one.
Whoa, hold on. Not food related? I beg to differ. There is some food related in this.
Wait, and not food? That's like every... What? Wait.
No, it's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a food holiday. We are not doing a food-related anime.
But I want curry bread.
Oh, I want some too. I want some too. It looked delicious. But
You guys...
yes.
Go ahead. Oh, I was gonna ask if you guys like spicy food or
I do.
hot peppers.
It depends on it. It depends on the flavor. Like if it's just outright spice, no. But if there's a good flavor to it, then fine.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and you may have heard of this anime, Ryan, but Fooly Cooly.
That sounds familiar. I don't know if I watched it or not.
Okay.
What does it mean? What do you get out of Fooly Cooly as a title?
It's honestly, it sounds like a pirate. I also just think of Cool Hand Luke. But it's not food related.
No, not really. Other than that, the main character, lives inside of a bakery. No.
The fuck?
Well, his family owns the bakery, and they live above the shop.
Oh, so it's like Bob's Burgers, but a bakery?
Yes.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
But that doesn't really have much
That's
bearing
the
on
only
lot.
thing that has similar... Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a bakery on a pirate ship. That's what I get from this. That's all I got.
Well,
all right.
Well,
go ahead.
This was an OVA. I did it right this time. OVA series from April 2000. Thank you. From April 2000 until March 2001, with very sporadic releases of the 6 episodes. Each one, I believe, was out on its own DVD or VHS at whatever they released on. And also, with it, not beforehand, actually, there was a manga series that kind of ties in with it, kind of goes off in its own direction, but we're going to be covering the anime. I didn't really read the manga to know how different it is.
I think it's pertinent to kind of discuss what does Fooly Cooly actually mean.
Yeah.
I don't think they actually specify what it means.
They don't, however, from what I understand, it's derived kind of from, like, you know, breast fondling, and I forget what the other term was, like massaging or something. It's derived from that, but nobody in the series ever uses the term correctly. So in the sense, it's supposed to be nonsense. It's a nonsense word.
And I think there was a line in the English dub. I'm not sure if it was in the Japanese version too, but I don't care if it's Fooly or Cooly.
I think that was just the dub.
Okay.
Because I don't remember that being in the subs.
Okay.
But look, we can go ahead and just put this out here now, because we watched this like last week, you and
Yes.
I, Brandon, and we had not seen it in about a decade.
Maybe more like 6 years for me, because I know Adult Swim will put it on occasionally, and I'm like, oh, Fooly Cooly, haven't seen this in years. Yeah, I haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it in probably like a decade. So like mid-2000s was the last time I saw it. Maybe even earlier than that.
And if you
when it was on Adult Swim.
And if you want to watch it, go to the Funimation YouTube channel, and the Japanese dub is up there.
Okay.
All 6 episodes. So
How long are the episodes?
Only like a half hour at most.
yeah,
Okay.
And the Japanese dub is, since it was OVA, episodes are a little bit sporadic in length too, as if they're not tied to any sort of television schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the final episode may be 33 minutes, while the other 5 are like 25, 26.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So lots of cuts were made in the English dub to the last episode.
Yeah. One of the most interesting things too is that the voice actor for Haruko in both languages is extremely close. Like the English dub voice actress that played Haruko is very, very, very similar to almost like it's the same person to the original voice actress in the Japanese version.
Yeah, that surprised me.
I was shocked because Haruko is probably the voice I remembered the most, because she's the most standout character in this series. Just for her literal insanity. So here's the problem with trying to discuss this anime and putting it out there, is because everything that's not tied directly to the main character, which is a 12-year-old kid named Naunta,
Takun!
or Takun as his not girlfriend calls him.
She calls everybody Takun.
I mean, she called that like pet thing she got at one point Takun, because she kind of abandoned Naunta at that point, or maybe it was vice versa.
And there was a cat named Takun.
That's true too. I forgot about that.
Oh, and...
But yes, hold on. Let me finish my thought here. Yes, anything that's not directly connected to Naunta himself seems to be just thrown out into the ether as far as like what is actually going on in this series.
There is a man who has sheets of nori as eyebrows. Okay. I take your silence as if you're confused.
Noodles?
No, nori, like the seaweed. So he has seaweed pieces for eyebrows to make him look more manly.
All I can think of is when SpongeBob and Patrick put seaweed under their noses to give themselves mustaches.
Yeah, think the seaweed for like sushi wrapping though is what we're looking at here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
And one interesting thing I found out, there is I may be using this term wrong because I don't know how popular any of these Japanese voice actresses are, but somebody extremely, extremely famous voiced a very, very, very minor character.
I found out about this earlier.
Yes. Hideshi Anno, creator of Neon Genesis Evangelion, did the voice of the cat.
Who did?
Anno from Evangelion the creator of Evangelion?
I probably don't know who that is.
Giant robot battle person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Nah.
Yeah, but Hideki Anno, we'll get back to his masterpiece later on. Oh, Anno did the latest Godzilla movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now you know one of the things he did.
And that was like one of his first, or
yeah, one of the
or just
one
something
of,
he did.
Like the most famous thing he did, I would say. And we'll probably be getting back to it sometime. Oh, and I did see a Godzilla Evangelion crossover, and like
Oh yeah, that did exist. I forgot about that.
yeah, it was like Mechagodzilla with like Unit 1's colors. So
Like Rainbow?
no.
Teal is a major color in there, if I remember right. Teal and orange.
Unit 1 is purple.
Oh, then I'm thinking of a different one.
Okay. But do you have any questions about Fooly Cooly? Like, okay, let's just give basics of plot.
The basic idea is that it's a coming of age story.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is basically going from like age 12 into becoming an adult.
And if you thought the innuendos were strong with Helsing and this gun is too big for me, this has so many more.
There's so many sexual innuendos, like to the point, like I forgot how many were in there. Either that or it just went over my head when I was younger.
Because you were like
Shit.
12 at the time.
Yeah, I was like 12 or so. Holy shit, there are so many innuendos in this.
Basically, as Naruto
People beat each other over the head with guitars, let's just put it that way.
Yes,
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, Naruto's walking home from school one day, and this crazy woman riding a Vespa, who turns out to be Haruko, runs him over. And now giant robots are sprouting from his forehead.
Well, head in general, it's not just his forehead.
Oh,
There was
okay.
one episode where it was coming out of the back of his head.
Oh, yeah.
The hell? And he doesn't die?
No.
Actually, like, that's
What?
one of the other things I was curious about. Like, is it actually painful for him? And he mentions that it's painful, but you don't see him, like, cry from the pain.
Well, he did
So it's...
give, like, a battle yell as like, the first one came out.
Yeah, but you don't, like, see tears streaming down his face from the pain, right? Like, he's not crying because of it. So, I would have to say, like, it's not break your arm or limbs painful, but probably closer to, like, a toothache. Or, like, getting stung by a bee or something like that. Just that constant pain.
Oh, and Ryan, bouncing off to a conversation Brandon and I had last week, is it so wrong to think a character is slightly attractive because of her hair color?
Yeah, I mean, people have preferences of redheads, brunettes, blondes.
No, because one of the characters has purple hair, and we were thinking back to Digimon, and I'm like, oh yeah, that purple hair character, I thought she was cute back then, and then I just realized, man, I think a lot of anime girls with purple hair are cute, and Brandon finds that weird.
Like, I don't... and it's not that it's
I'm not
weird.
alone here.
It's not that it's weird, it's just that it seems strange that you would immediately jump to that as, you know, the reason and the connecting factor.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, especially since it's not a natural hair color.
Yeah.
But this purple hair dye! You don't understand!
I mean,
Apparently not.
a lot of anime characters don't have natural hair color. I think.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know, like jet black. Most people don't have.
Like, it ends up
Like-
depending on the series you're watching in that case.
Yeah. What kind?
And some of them are just, like, completely out there, but others
Most
are...
of the time it's like fantasy animes, or even just
Mhm.
that kind of stuff, they're gonna have weird hair colors. But
so basically, Naota is sprouting robots from his forehead pretty much against his will, all in the quest to become a man and grow up.
that's weird.
Well, hijinks ensues. Let's just say that too.
Yes.
So weird.
Many perverted references.
Well, let's just say that there's, vagina boxing gloves.
That thing was hilarious.
And it happens twice.
What the hell? Sock and boppers just appear.
Sock and boppers!
Is this like set in a city?
Yes.
Small town?
Small city, town, something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with a giant iron-shaped factory that releases steam as the central focal point of the city. That may or may not be the cause of all the robots appearing. Again, it's not really stated.
You have to kind of look out into extra material to kind of understand what's going on with the whole robots appearing. My understanding of it is that certain people have this ability where it kind of creates a portal in their heads because of something going on with the left and right brain side of the brain communicating between each other. Mm-hmm. And it apparently allows them to transport things through that, connection point in their head.
Yeah.
And it varies from person to person how strong that is. In Nauta's case, it's strong enough that it can sprout out entire robots. In one of the other characters' case, you get a tiny little slingshot.
Is it like a portal from his head, or does it
the portal is inside of his skull, so it's pushing itself out of his head.
So his forehead protrudes and
yes.
Yes. In a very phallic reference in the first episode.
Phallic reference?
Yes.
Okay.
Hence the innuendos.
Yes.
Yeah. So every time he gets a boner, a robot just comes out of his head?
The robots are probably symbolic of boners.
More imagination was my understanding, and it's to the point where the first one that comes out of his head then becomes a tenant at his house and just lives with them.
So they hang around the robots. They don't disappear after.
The first one does. The second one, all the ones that come after that are hostile, and they get destroyed by the first robot.
Okay.
And the only way the first robot is able to do that is by literally eating Nauta and then shitting him out when he's done.
Yes.
What the hell?
There's an entire scene where you see the robot get weak knees, get this toilet speech bubble popping out of its head, and you just see a brown colored liquidy Nauta drop out from between his legs.
And I think Mamimi says Taku, you're safe and stinky.
You smell.
And then he sprouted a guitar from his forehead in order to swing like a baseball bat in order to knock away a meteor.
A satellite. It wasn't a meteor. It was a satellite.
It was a satellite.
But yeah, there was a satellite that Haruko literally caused the problem for. Right? They're having a baseball game in the beginning of the series, of the episode. She swings the bat, and one of the characters is like, "I think that went out of our atmosphere." And we get a picture of the government agency looking at a baseball lodged inside the satellite that's now careening toward the Earth. So Haruko caused this thing to fall out of the sky towards the town, and now fucking Naota has to pull the fucking guitar out of his head and swing the bat, which is both innuendo and is kind of the idea of graduating into a grown-up.
And actually, when Kanji powers up into his red form, the kanji for adult appears on his screen.
It's not quite that.
Okay.
It's two different kanji that are overlapped over each other.
I thought one of them was adult.
One of them is adult. I forget what the other one is.
Okay.
I think it might be child. I'm not sure. But,
Okay.
like, one is flipped upside down, and then they're layered over top of each other to make that symbol. And there's a point at the end where we get that last episode where you see, the core that Mommy Me was taking care of for a while go into the giant hand. And on that one, you get the same kind of idea, but that one I know has the child kanji on it.
It says here it is the two kanjis for adult overlapping each other.
Okay, so it's both.
Yeah, and then later on in the series, it's the two kanjis for child overlapping.
Yes, okay, so that's it.
What is a kanji exactly?
Katakana.
Japanese lettering.
Yeah, Japanese lettering.
Okay. That's good to know. Now I know.
But, yeah, there are, like, some of the robot designs in this are really interesting. Like, one is literally like a cowboy, like, looking thing where it's got, like, the hat, and you, like, see the head, and it's got, like, this, almost like a cowl or a cape kind of, like a giant poncho, actually, over top of it, so you can't see the lower half of its body.
Yeah.
But when you take off the poncho, it's literally like a giant hand. At each end of the finger has another hand that's gripping a revolver in it.
I thought all of the robots seemed hand-related somehow.
I wonder if that's another innuendo.
It probably is.
I mean, Conti is straight up a full-blown robot.
Yes.
Like, he's got a TV for a head, but he's a full-blown robot. Like, arms, legs, everything. Whereas all the other ones seem to be... Well, some. The one that ends up being, like, spider-like, I don't know if that's a hand so much or not.
Do the robots that appear, like, have something to do with the situation he's in?
Yes and no?
So much. It seems like Haruko's the one that triggers, like, when she first hits him, whether it's because she hits him with her guitar or the Vespa itself, seems to trigger that whole robot sprouting out of Nauta's head situation. However, she claims that it's Medical Mechanica, which is the factory, the iron factory we talked about, that's, using his head to send it through.
And again, I'm not too sure if this was in the Japanese dub too, but why it's an iron is it's supposed to... Wait, how do they phrase it? It's something like, iron out the creases of the wrinkled planet.
Like, the way it's kind of portrayed is like you have an army of these giant iron factories that are like steamrolling everything on the planet. But again, this is like getting into the point where the outside universe of what's going on isn't really clear. Like, there's not enough information
Everybody
in this area.
seems to be not telling the full truth.
Yeah, nobody here other than Naota himself seems to be able to be truthful completely. Either things are hidden,
Or they just don't know.
Or they don't know, or they twist the truth somehow. Like, it's something that's extremely hard to understand, and with the next season 2 and 3 coming out in a couple of months?
Well,
yeah, a couple of months
January.
then. We might actually get to understand what the outer world outside of Nauta's life, what the fuck is actually going on.
Although I heard seasons 2 or series 2 and 3 might not be a direct continuation, although
it would still be in the same universe and thus give us an idea of what's still going on.
Because I did see Haruko is back.
Yeah. Because Haruko apparently is like some space woman, is what we understand by the end of the series.
She claims to be an alien, and I think her Vespa actually flies at one point.
At the end of the series, her Vespa is floating in the air.
Okay.
As she's like saying goodbye to Nauta.
She just floats away?
I guess. I have no idea if she like actually takes off, like the Vespa can straight up fly, or if that's like on another setup. Like there's one point where she's flying through the air on a guitar.
Like a witch.
Kind of.
Which is actually a reference to a previous anime too. I forget what it is though. Like there's a shit ton of references in here that I didn't know about until I looked some of them up. There's a shit ton of South Park references.
Yes, there is South Park. They
There's
really
a point where the animation
South Park
just changes.
style.
Yes.
The fuck?
It cuts into South Park style. There's a point where a car gets destroyed and you see a Kenny keychain who's been impaled by a spear flying through the air. And there's a point where, like, Naota, like, puts his hooded sweatshirt up and tightens the
Strap.
The drawstrings so that he looks like a blue Kenny.
Wow.
Yeah, there's so many references to pop culture in here. They even go to a manga animation style with everything panning over a giant manga page, but they can't do that because it's too expensive.
They literally say that in the anime when they do it the second time, and they're like, yeah, well, the animators told us not to do that anymore because it was too expensive and confusing, but, if we didn't do it again, they'd say we're lazy.
And there's so much, like, fourth wall breaking when they were in the trailer in the first episode, like, oh, those slow motion scenes are always so hard. Like, what? You were actually moving slow?
They cut to the actors, like, bus/trailer/break room area where Haruko Mamimi and Naota are. And Haruko and Mamimi are like, yeah, you have to hold your breath really long to hold out those, like, slow motion scenes. And Haruko's just sitting there with a fan like, yeah, that could really take it out of you. And Nachi just, like, gets up like, what the fuck? You guys are doing that yourself? I thought that was a special effect. Like, from my understanding, this entire series was made based on the fact, like, this is all the shit I love. I just want a narrative to go with it.
And
like, what was it? They randomly just wanted a robot in there. The director wanted a robot in there, and there was no reason to originally have one. And then he just drew one up and stuck it in there anyway. That's how Conti gets in the anime.
And it doesn't really hurt that this is Studio Gainax, and Studio Gainax are known for their interesting anime.
I'm pretty sure this is what gave them their start, too. Or at least gave them their big, boost.
Evangelion came first.
Oh, right. Though did Evangelion actually have this, like, random-ass style?
No.
Well, then this is the first one that made the style famous, I think.
Yeah, like, Evangelion was pretty much, like, typical...
I thought it was pretty straight-laced, if I remembered.
Pretty straight-laced. It had slight bits of comedy here and there, but pretty much...
But the animation didn't drastically change itself like this does.
No.
Also, right, best freaking music in this series. This has amazing music.
The Pillows.
The Pillows does a great job. So, I'm just going to send this over to you, through our Skype chat here, in the song that in my opinion at least, is probably the most famous out of all of them.
And I'm going to cut it here so that we don't get copyright.
I'm not putting it in the series, alright? It's not going to come up in here, but yes, Little Busters by the Pillows is one of the best songs.
Oh, I totally agree.
And I remember, because, like, until I heard this again, I had always, like, thought the lyrics were completely different from what they actually are. Like, I always thought, like, it's the refrain was done, like, it's a kid who's from the future, and the kid's a ninja master, just waiting for the new process, is what I thought the lyrics were, and I'm completely wrong.
Because it is in English.
Most of it is in English. There is, I think, one or two lines that are in Japanese.
I think the verses are in Japanese. The refrain
is in... the verses are in Japanese, but the refrain is in English.
And the good thing is, they're coming back for Fooly Cooly 2 and 3, so...
Good, because if they didn't, people would be mad, or very disappointed, at least.
And I am always looking around YouTube basically every week for a Spiky Seeds full edition, which is the song from the trailer.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens, when you're looking for a song like that from a trailer, and it's like, oh, we have this extended edition where they just, like, took the song, kind of just, not just loop it, but, like, add on a section here and there.
Yeah.
Like, kind of splice in different parts of it to make it work. And it's like, no, I want the actual official full version of this song, please.
Yeah. and that's why I kind of wanted Andrew on board, but...
Yeah, I would love to get his take on this, as far as a music man.
Yeah.
But, I think we should wrap it up then, because I believe you have to get going, don't you, Orion?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Hey, at least we have an episode out.
Yeah, I just don't know how long it could take. If you guys want to continue, I don't know. It might take me like 15 minutes to take this out. If you guys want to continue,
I think we got it under control with this, don't you?
Yeah.
Any questions you want to quick pose to us about the series?
That we may or may not be able to answer.
Yes, because of how.
How many like main characters are there? Like 3?
I would say
4?
3.
Yes, 3.
Okay.
One is a side character that pops up now and then. But yes, 3 major characters plus maybe the robot.
Okay. Let's see.
6 episodes.
6 episodes, about 30 minutes each, give or take a few minutes.
What kind of like time period?
This was
Normal
made in
time?
2000,
Like our
so
time?
Yeah, I would say like early to mid 2000s. Like you still have clunky flip phones at the most.
Okay. That's pretty much all.
okay.
So-
I've been up for a while.
So would you be interested in taking a look at it yourself, or?
Yeah, I can find the episodes on YouTube. I'll probably
Yep.
watch that today if the episode.
yeah, the Funimation YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate
Sure.
it.
Share it with your friends, share it with your grandma maybe if she doesn't, mind a little crude language.
Yeah.
Yep.
Catch you guys later.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye bye.